Okay, let's get started. Today is our last live session for Mod 2. We are in week 4 for DES109, Graphic Design 1. You made it last week, and last session we're going to, actually I did not pull up that other folder. I wanted to actually get my submissions ready just in case we can do one more or two more critiques. Whoops. There we go. And we are going to actually be doing a demonstration of the Behance portfolio. So I believe we actually already went over the discussion yesterday. So we'll talk a little bit about the portfolio and the assessment, which is just the revisions from last week. So I really kind of don't need to go over that too much in detail, but let us get going. So, online portfolios. Why create an online portfolio? For what reasons might we need to create an online portfolio? Whoops, clicked twice apparently. First and foremost, you want to be showcasing your work. Kind of a given. It used to be that I'm sorry. I had crazy that clicked on the meeting. Wait, just clicked out, rejoin, can we change the room? Beth was having a little bit of trouble with the room apparently. It was giving you a hard time. I guess you went into a little vortex apparently, Zoom vortex. Excuse me. Sorry. Let's go back. I got caught in the my attention got caught in the chat. Going back lots of years now, and when you were going to be showcasing your work, going on interviews, meeting with a potential client, you'd actually have an actual printed portfolio of sorts. Sometimes they were rather large, sometimes they were much smaller, kind of depending on your work. Some employers still ask for those these days. It's not very common. It's actually rather uncommon when they ask for those these days. And normally they would ask for an online portfolio link. It also lets potential employers know that you're available to work. And I'll show you that feature actually in Behance today, where you can be looking for jobs actually on Behance. Employers can actually be searching for you. Excuse me, you also can build a network of resources and collaborators and clients. I've had people contact me as clients through not Behance, but another one of the portfolio sites. You can follow other designers just like you can on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those other great things. You can follow their work if there's a particular style that you like. You're kind of interested to see what else they do, or interested in certain ideas. There are portfolio sites out there that also have forums and different groups, so you can actually contact people and kind of go back and forth with ideas and resources for inspiration. Obviously, we were talking about that last week. So it's really a great kind of meeting place as well for creative minds. Excuse me. It also creates a great first impression for employers. It lets people know that you are available and ready and willing to work, and that you have already put in the time and energy into creating something. Putting together a portfolio when you have a lot of work, it can be time consuming. If you're starting right at the beginning like you guys are, then it's, as long as you keep up with it, it's actually not taxing at all. Just every once in a while drop another one in there. But at least for an initial impression to employers, you have the opportunity to say something to your employers without you even being available. And we had LaShawn just come in a minute ago. So hello, LaShawn. Thank you for joining us. Benefits of an online portfolio. Like I said, you can actually give an impression or have a portfolio say something to you before you're even available. It's constantly working for you. You're already out there. You can have someone all the way across the world be looking at your portfolio while you're asleep, which is just really, really great. It's flexible. So, a few minutes ago, I was talking about how you would have to bring your paper portfolio with you on an interview or a meeting. You don't have to do that now. Person can look up your portfolio right on their smartphone, right on their tablet, right on their computer in their office. And in addition to that, you can modify your portfolio whenever you need to, whenever you want. It's very easy to modify it. I can go in there and I can hide one of my albums real quickly. I can make it visible again real quickly. I can move things around and reorder them, as opposed to opening up my 3-ring binder, taking things out, putting things in. It's very, very tiresome. Keeps you organized and up to date, and that's actually a huge one because it's very easy to forget about the work that's in your portfolio. It typically is a good idea to kind of go in every once in a while and take out some of the old work, put in some new work, because as you guys go through your design experience, you're going to be learning, you're going to be seeing new trends, you're going to be working with different people, and your skills will improve, your layouts will improve. So you don't want something in there that's maybe a little dated, that that you have more professional skills and that your work looks more professional, more put together, because that not only will tell someone that maybe you don't actually have a ton of work going on, and then that kind of leads them to wonder why people haven't hired you. I know I did that actually several years ago. God, it's been almost 15 years now. My husband and I were looking at wedding photographers, and we got married in 2004, but the images that he had in the sample book that he brought, I'm pretty sure were from the late 80s. And that was a red flag in my book, so to speak. Because to me that said, well, if this is, the most professional or the best looking work that you have, what have you been doing for the last 20 years? So the portfolio will keep you current and will keep you constantly looking at your information and keeping you organized. I mean, that's just kind of a given. You want to make sure that your employers and your clients can figure out what they're looking at. I mentioned a minute ago, it can also provide resources for research. You have forums, you have people might be sharing tools, websites, things like that. I know that I've actually my fonts site that we were talking about yesterday and we talked about last week, I didn't stumble across that myself. That was from a coworker. So when you're working with other professionals, what is this? I don't know why that's like that. When you're working with other professionals, you can collaborate with the researchers as well. And I just want to make sure, can you guys hear me? I just got a message. Okay, good. Okay. I just got a message that I'm signed out of Zoom cloud meetings, so I just wanted to make sure that it didn't actually do that, and all of a sudden the recording gets stopped. So, all right, I'm gonna have to look into why it keeps doing that then. Oh, no. Cancel. Okay. Oh, onward. So one other benefit, it draws employers in by providing visuals of your experience, which essentially that is, it's giving them an idea of the kind of work that you can provide. That's, the same kind of thing as giving them a good first impression, and you are pretty much, you're sending a message out to them already. This is the type of work I do. This is the kind of work that I want. I can do this for you, and this is why. It's as I was mentioning yesterday, I have a certain type of clientele that I enjoy working with. I will work with other clientele because I'm not going to put my nose up to work. But there are specific clients that I prefer, and that's very easily the kind of thing that you can do. It also, it'll become intriguing for your employers because they see one piece, they want to look at something else. Oh, maybe these guys do packaging design. What other kind of design do they do? They might continue looking at the rest of your work. So yes, Zoom is acting crazy. So we have some examples of online portfolio sites. The one that we're going to be talking about today is behance.net, which is very closely related to Adobe. This is the icon for it over here. We have dribble.com, which is right over here. And notice that there are 3 B's in that one. Excuse me, not just 2. There's coraflow.com. That's where I have my second portfolio site, and it has been very user-friendly. We got Coraflow down here. We have a 4th one is Adobe Portfolio, where you can actually take your Behance site and create a portfolio, Adobe Portfolio, in like 2 clicks. And it takes everything that's already in your site and compiles it into a separate portfolio. I don't know if Behance were to go down, if the Adobe Portfolio would also go down. I don't know if they're actually connected or if they're just partnered. But that's another option. And then a 5th one is simply, these are just probably the most common portfolio sites, is carbonmade.com. They each have their own features, their own setups, and there are so many more than just these 5. But obviously I didn't want to overload you guys. There's this link right down here. That I actually got these top 5, and then I mean you can just Google online portfolio sites and it comes up with a ton of information. So if you once you start looking at what you should put together, you know, you're going to start thinking about, okay, well, what kind of information should I put in more in my portfolio? What images should I put in there? Oh, we have a question. Are these the same as Google Portfolios? The one that you had, actually, no, it wasn't you. I think actually it was Lyric, actually, that sent information to me the other day. Let me see if I can push. Let me see. Yes, it was Lyric that actually sent it to me. Let me actually pull this up and I'll take a look real quick because I actually have never used Google Sites. Let's see, I'm just looking at an example here. And it looks like maybe it's similar. Let me see. When we were talking about it yesterday, I think the Google Sites one is really more for non-designers, and then these are the other portfolios are really more specifically for designers, LaShawn. This is actually one of mine. I bring up my 2 for this particular lecture just to kind of show you guys the difference. I mean, they're very, very, very similar, as you can see, because that's how I set mine up. I like to have them pretty similar. I have my cover shot that I took of this little guy out on my back patio one day, and he's set up here as well. You'll notice that these thumbnails are pretty much the same because I organize them the same way, so it doesn't matter what site the person goes to, they're seeing the same information. So, and these are really set up specifically, like I said, specifically for designers. You're featuring images and videos and that kind of thing, and it's very easy to kind of connect with other designers. Beth asks, out of those top 5 that I had written down, which one would I recommend? It kind of all depends. Like I said, like I just showed you, like mine, I have Behance and Coraflow. I've been using them for a long time. They're both, yes, I did do some design for the World Cup, Beth. I had a customer that they were working on, they were working on some apparel, and they needed an actual artist to work with this woman right here who was the fashion designer. She didn't have the computer skills, so I did the artwork for the garments and then also for their promotional stuff. But so they, these two sites, they're really, really user friendly, and you can actually set things up slightly differently. You can display things just slightly differently. You can, customize your titles and things like that. I'm going to be going through that in a little bit, and you can really personalize it as much as you want. I have essentially kind of like an abridged resume right over here, and you can actually go to the full one. So it kind of all depends. If you're looking for something that is really more maybe video centric, there might be others out there that are designed specifically for that. Carbon Made, I think, had a lot of really neat features. I remember when I was looking at that one. Let's see, portfolio. The bottom right one, yeah, that one actually was probably my favorite, and I didn't even need to do much with that one. The bottom right chart, there were, I think, like 300 or 400 pages of specs that you had to follow when you were designing the brand specs, and that was just like, holy crap. Let's see. Yeah, see the carbon. This is Carbon Made, and this is, like I said, very. They had a lot more features on this particular one. So there are different themes. So you can see that these are set up quite differently than mine was. All right, and I need to do a little bit of work on mine anyways. But so, we have something on the left-hand side right here, the little menu. So there are different features that either lots of different sites have, and some of them are free and some of them aren't. Obviously right here, the way I look at it is, why pay for something unless it has a feature that you really, really, really want, because there's so many resources out there. But yeah, so we'll go through that a little bit more in just a minute. Excuse me. So again, we're talking about what information or what things that your portfolio should contain. Want to make sure that you include examples of your work, because that's the first thing that you're trying to show your clients. A good thing to do is to watermark your images if you can. I'll show you in my portfolio. I have a number of them that actually have my logo on them, just to protect yourself. You want to make sure you include some kind of contact information, because how can they get you? How can they employ you if they don't know how to get in touch with you? Information about yourself can kind of provide a little bit more context for your customers. You might, feature, I don't know, a picture of some drawing you did before it was tattooed on yourself, and that might draw in a completely different clientele than simply package design. And as a result, you're providing kind of a background into what your likes and everything are. You obviously are able to pick and choose the kind of information you want to share, and kind of provide as much or as little as you'd like. And then testimonials, if you are given testimonials, if people are messaging you or are willing to write something about your work that they were thrilled with, absolutely put it up there. Show other people why they want to hire you. And it's not just you. Other people are saying that. I got a couple more questions here. Whoops. We have LaShawn asks, how often would you recommend updating your portfolios? In the beginning, LaShawn, it's going to seem like you're updating it constantly. Whenever you get something new that you're very proud of, or something that you think is professional, that's complete, stick it up there. That could be every week. That could be once a month. That could be, depending on how often you're creating work, that could be every other hour. Who knows? But right at the beginning, especially, you're going to find that you're doing it a lot more. And then after that, I'd say probably maybe every 6 months or so. That's just my suggestion. Take a look at your portfolio and take things down that maybe are a little bit outdated now. Put things up that maybe you have noticed that, oh, I completely forgot I did that project. I want to make sure I put that in there. I have a little folder that I kind of dump things in until I have a little bit of time, and then I'll put it all up at the same time. And Beth asks, how do you watermark your work? I will go over that. Let me actually make sure, because I have Photoshop open. Let me make sure, because I think I opened up my, yes, I do. I actually have a watermark that I created. So I will actually show you how to do that in just a little bit. So just don't let me forget. I'll make sure that I do that when we're talking about that. Yeah, no problem. All right, so when is your portfolio complete, you might be thinking. And essentially, never. Good job, Christina. It is never, ever done. Unless you decide you are done designing, it's never complete. It is essentially a living organism. You want to make sure that you're always growing, you're always developing. You want to make sure that you're not getting stale. So your portfolio continuing to grow and change and be modified, that's a good thing. So don't be afraid of that. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. And before we get to our demo, we've got one more secret question, one final secret question for the mod. Why was daylight savings time implemented for the first time? Anybody have any idea why they started it? I actually had to look this up the other day because I had no idea. And I am like so exhausted. To help the farmers have more time in the fields, that was a consideration. Apparently, I guess, that because I was actually reading that and they said that that is slightly misleading. There was actually another reason as well, because it was right around World War II that they were doing this, according to what I was reading anyway. So maybe what I was reading was wrong. But it was right around World War II, and they were trying to conserve fuel and energy. So it was essentially being used for the same reason, because they were trying to make the best use of all the daylight, the same reason, there's the same way a farmer would. But they were trying to make sure that they could conserve all that stuff. And these days, man, daylight savings just kills me, especially with the 3 kids. But so that's the final question for that, and actually the end of the presentation for today. So here we go. Not the end of the recording, just the end of the PowerPoint presentation. There we go. So what we are going to do, did I say World War II? I meant World War I. Maybe I said World War II. All right, so we are going to get started here. Where's my Firefox window? All right. I don't even remember either, LaShawn, so I could have said either one. So to get started, I'll close this guy out. What you're going to do is, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me actually back up just a little bit. Let me go back to, oh, goodness gracious. I didn't sign in. I thought I had. Sorry. Sorry about that. Of course, student view. Okay, let's go over to the assignment. Make sure I go over the instructions. So, first couple things you want to do is when you are considering your work for your portfolio, you want to make sure it's your absolute best work. Right now, the quantity of work that you're going to have is going to be fairly limited because the majority of you guys are going to be in the early stages of your design career. That's absolutely okay. You put in what you can do and you modify as you go. When you are considering, however, when you have a much larger quantity, when you're considering what to put in, these are like the basic couple of questions that you want to think about. Is your work free from spelling errors? Is it high-res imagery? You want to make sure that it's nice and clear, because if you are presenting yourself in low-res, low-quality work, that's telling other people that that's what you consider to be your best work, and that's obviously not a good representation. You want to consider, is there an element of the piece that's particularly important to you or important to that particular piece? For example, come on you. there we go. In the FIFA work that the students here were just talking about, I did a lot more with this particular project, but the garments, the apparel was actually really the main feature of the work. So this is what I was highlighting. I didn't need to show, no, I didn't need to show the patterns that I created from the garments that they were using. I didn't need to show the lookbook that I put together. That would have obviously been more print, but that was kind of what I was focusing on in that particular work. So there we go, go back. Would it make sense to include a physical mock-up of the piece to give it better context? That is something that you can do. I actually have another one of those. Where is it? Where's my packaging? Ah, here it is. Packaging. If I can find, there we go. Oh, come on. Well, there we go. So this is actually, I had done kind of like a before and after, where this is the template for this particular product, and then I was sent photographs by the customer after it was actually printed and assembled. So, I mean, the pictures themselves aren't great. I would have taken much higher quality shots, and unfortunately, I didn't have the product, so I couldn't go ahead and take better shots, but you can kind of see the before and after, and I have it labeled, you know, box pattern, box after production, photos from customer. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that you can do when you're putting together mock-ups. This is actually another mock-up right here. I don't know if that was ever put into production. That's the other crazy thing, is part of this field, you sometimes don't even see the final product. Is that what you've done in your current job? Yes, a lot of this, LaShawn, is actually my own freelance stuff, my Purple Spider graphics work. Trying to look around. There are a couple of things that I actually did while working for other companies, and I make sure that I'm very careful when I use those images to not specify that I own the artwork, because I don't. However, I was still the artist, so I just make sure to credit where credit is due. So I've in my own work, I have had a lot of different kinds of work, which has been really, really fun. And as long as you keep yourself open to that, and one of these, you know, one of the reasons why you have the portfolio is so that you can do that. It really is interesting where the job can take you. So, so after you've kind of considered those questions, and your piece that you want to upload kind of falls within those categories, you're going to create your Behance site. You're going to use your name, complete your profile, your written profile, make sure everything's nice and professional, use Grammarly if you need to, use Microsoft Word if you need to, if that's a better tool for you, and then just copy and paste the information in. You are going to use the revised poster that you use for assessment 4. So yesterday we were discussing how you want to actually do assessment 4 first, because that's what you're going to upload. And you are going to, once you have submitted that piece, you're going to submit the URL to your Behance portfolio site in the comments. You can, I think, let me see, I'm just trying to look. Create a project level image, because I get questions every mod, and they haven't changed this here. You can submit the revised piece, or you can submit a screenshot of your portfolio site, because I don't think it'll let you do the assignment comments without actually uploading something. So either one of those is fine. Then just make sure you also take that link, that URL, and email it to both your FPA and myself. I have a list of everyone's FPAs, so if you don't know whose yours is, let me know. I can send it to you. So we need to just make sure that we both get that. So that, I mean, that is essentially it. Once you're done with your assessment, export it as a JPEG, and actually you can export it as a JPEG. That's what you can upload. I'm sorry. That's uploading to the portfolio. I'm sorry, I'm like kind of back and forth. I'm exhausted. So on Behance, you're going to take the JPEG that you exported from your assessment. You're going to create a new project and upload it on your Behance site. Or if you have multiple images, that's fine too. Write a little description of it. And then these right here, this is actually kind of confusing. Submit the link, like I said, to the Behance URL in the comment area of Canvas, and then email the both of us. So I've got some comments here. Oops. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Ex-husband and I got a job for a TV show on ABC because of a portfolio I convinced him to start using. Nice. That's amazing. No, they are not in the grade book just yet, Dobby. I am actually going to be working on those today. So hopefully I will have them finished by this evening. I unfortunately have all 3 of my kids tonight. My husband is working, so it'll be tricky going back and forth. But so let us get started on the portfolio itself. Where's Firefox? There we go. Okay, so I usually use Chrome for these things, but I don't know if you can tell. I actually have Chrome open up. Come on, you. You are ticking me off. There we go. This is my Chrome. I can't sign in on Chrome on one tab and not have it sign in on the other one, so I use 2 different browsers while I'm doing this because I like to go back and forth sometimes while I'm doing the presentation. So we are going to go to behance.net. You're going to go to sign in. And if you have an Adobe ID, you can use that. If not, you just create your username and password. All right, so like I said, I already have one, but I apparently typed it in wrong. Oh, for God's sakes. All right, now I'm just getting aggravated. Oh, that's why, because that's spelled wrong. Here we go. See, spelling is crucial. Correct spelling is crucial. So now, once you actually have gone into your account, you'll see there's, they're set up very similar to other social media accounts. We have, some people that are trending up here. These are different hashtags. These down here are actually items that the site actually pulls up for you. These are different people that are already designing out there. This is their work. So you can see that there are some likes here. This is how many views this particular project has done. So you'll, sometimes maybe sign in and see something really, really interesting that you just click on, and you can take a look at someone's work. I've seen work from all over the world just by, so and actually see, we have a little video right here of some sort. That's very interesting. So, and actually it looks like this particular project, all this information, it looks like it's kind of the same stuff that, oh, and actually this is a great thing for me to actually, I'm actually gonna save this person's portfolio for the rest of the presentation, because I have something that I'll show you guys later that will be good to use that as an example. There we go. So it's, like I said, it's a great resource. You can connect with other people very, very easily. And they very often have like different articles and stuff that you can read as well. We obviously have some video tutorials right here. Excuse me. So really, really kind of neat. So what you're going to be doing is, if you saw in the assignment instructions, you're going to be creating a project and you're going to be doing your first upload. So we're going to click up here to create project. And you're going to click over here, or you can actually, there are multiple ways to do everything pretty much. These are essentially the exact same thing over here: upload, add text, embed media, files, text, embed. So it's kind of the same thing. You gotta go to upload. I will actually, oh good, it's actually already set up. This is my folder of things that need to be uploaded for one reason or another. And let's see, I will actually do these 2. This will be my, oh, you know what? That one actually has the watermark on it, so I'll do that one instead. And I will do, let's see. I'll do this one just so that it makes sense. I always explain there are 5 or 6 ways to get the same result. Yes, there absolutely are. And design is a great way to, or a great example of that, because you guys could do something one way and I could do it some completely different way, but the end result, you'd never know the difference. So for example here, oh, I have an image that's upside down. And I don't know that I can actually change that. So here we go. We got a, we have something here that I will actually have to show you how to get rid of something, because I will need to fix that before I can upload it. So we have, for example, just 3 items that I had uploaded. 1, 2, 3. I have this right here was a set of cards I did for a baby shower, and this was the actual printed cards. So I wanted to kind of show that as a comparison. So what I would do at this point, first, before I forget, is get rid of this. We have our little pencil guy up here that you can click. You can reorder things if you want to move them around. Oop, you know, or, you know, there we go. I was going to say, or not. Or you can replace the image with something else. So I would probably, at this point, if I was doing this, I'd probably go back to Photoshop, flip this. I'd probably even actually brighten it up a little bit. That's why these things are not in my portfolio just yet. And whoops, no, nope, 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 not add caption. I don't want to do that yet. Replace image, and I would click the edited one. Okay, and what we're going to do right here is we're going to delete it because I need to fix it. So I don't want that up there right now. You can see right here I have my watermark that you can use, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So at this point, I have a couple of images. I want to add a little bit of information. I'm going to add a caption. You can add other text as well. Excuse me. Baby shower invitations and card. Okay. Oops, that's not spelled correctly. There we go. You can change the header. You can change the size of it. You can change the style of it. Okay, and you can, again, you can go right in here and you can do all of the exact same things. So let's just kind of, we'll play around with it for just a minute so that you, actually, you know what? Yeah, here we go. Let's make it bright red so you can see it. And actually, it's not changing it because that is not the header. That is a caption. So actually, let's make it black. Right now, it's gray and it's very difficult to see. There we go. So see how we just changed that? I'm actually going to go, let's see. I'm actually going to go and add text. Oh, it went down to this other one. That's all right. Oh, see, now it's messing with me. Oh, for crying out loud. Good versions. There we go. Edit text. So now, like I said, like we have paragraph, we have Arial, we have the size. Let's do that just for giggles. So you can see I'm just changing things up a little bit here. If you actually, after you have gotten several things in here, let me actually add another caption here. Caption example. Just so I can show you guys, you can actually change all of them all at the same time. You don't have to go in individuals. If you go to, oh no, not that one. I'm sorry. Sorry. There, here we go. Edit styles and layouts. This actually will take care of everything all at the same time. So I'm going to go down to captions because we have 2 right here: baby shower invitation and card, and caption example. If I go down to captions, let's make this red. See how they both just changed at the same time? And if I do something like this, make it a little bit bigger, okay, you can see it changed them all at the same time. So if I have 30 images in here, which that's probably a little bit much, but it'll all change all at the same time. Yeah, I don't have to go back in there, you know, time and time again. You can Change the justification depending on what you want. I think I have all mine left justified just because. I try to keep everything kind of consistent. What I wanted to actually show you on this other portfolio is also there's spacing in between the images. There are dividers that you can make. Let's make a blue one. Okay, and we're gonna make it dotted. See how it kind of shows up there? That is kind of what this person right here did. You can see there isn't one right there, but it looks like there might be some right here. You know, it's got the divider right there as well. And I don't know if this person did it manually. Here's another one. I don't know if this person did it manually. And you'll notice that these images are all abutted up next to each other as well. You can do that by adjusting the spacing. So, and I have a little caption here, so it can't go too far, or too close, excuse me. Same thing here. I eliminated the header. So you see how you can kind of customize these as you go. Okay. Once you, thank you very much, Darby and LaShawn. I didn't see that you guys were commenting on these. So once you've kind of put together your project, you guys are probably only going to have the one image. That's fine. Set it up however you'd like to set it up. Go to save, and then go to continue. I always do save first just because I'm always afraid I'm going to lose stuff. Okay. Scroll in or feature whatever portion you want to feature for your cover photo for that album. Let's go baby shower, whoops, baby shower invitations. Set things up, group things together like you would like to do it right now. You guys might just be setting up, it up as, IU projects. I have mine grouped together by type of project. This right here, my FIFA work, was really the only project that I had that was kind of like a compilation of different things. Everything else is, okay, I had a client that gave me one job and that was it. So I would, excuse me, for example, actually that's a bad example, sorry. For example, here we go. Social media ads. This was for one client, this was for another client. This was for another client. So I have these all grouped together because they're essentially the same type of work, but it wasn't for one project. Same thing here. I have a number of different kinds of invitations for various clients. And actually these I put together, these were for the same kind of wedding. So that was, I think, tickets and invitations. So group it together in some kind of logical manner, whether it's time frame or client or type of work, that's completely up to you. Beth asks, do we add the mood board or just your poster? Just your poster. You don't need the mood board. You just export the one JPEG. Where am I going? Mozilla. There we go. So now as you are saving your project, it's going to take you through a whole bunch of steps from some more information. That the more information you fill out here, the more your visibility is going to be increased. So try to fill it out as much as you can. Creative fields, actually there are going to be some that are going to be required. Okay, so how would I categorize this project? I would probably do some kind of printing maybe. Let's see if they have print design. There we go. You can, like it says, select up to 3. So let's do graphic design and typography. And there's no wrong answer for any of these things either. You pick how you would categorize it. Tools used. I know that I used InDesign for this one. You can start typing things in, and a lot of the time it will populate suggestions for you. And I know I used Illustrator because I had to do my little onesie there. And that's probably all I used there. Yeah, I think so. So we're going to hit done. And co-owners, it was just me, so I'm not going to do that. And I don't have to attribute any kind of license to it. It doesn't have adult content, thank goodness. Yep, absolutely, Beth, no problem. We have networks here. If you didn't want someone to comment on it, you could disable that. I like to do that. I like to make sure that's out there. Provide a little description, baby shower invitations for family friend, or, you know, whatever. Keywords. What do you use for keywords? I have included a link in an announcement. On the work you posted, it was in, yes, it was, but there are definitely other ways you could do it. I mean, essentially it's going to be the same way, but I have it set up in Photoshop. But you can do it in a couple of different programs. But here we go. So I do have an announcement that will go up that here are some keywords that you can use to make your portfolio a little bit easier to find. So that's obviously a key thing to make sure, oh, where did, geez, I keep losing this thing. To make sure that you are discoverable. So, I don't know, showers, invitations, you know, whatever you're going to end up putting in there, and you can add up to 10. You know, so you just fill it out as much as you possibly can, and you hit publish. And this automatically comes up. You can share this on any of your social media sites. Like we were saying yesterday, obviously I would have to be logged in order to do that, but I typically do that. I'll share on LinkedIn, I'll share on my business Facebook page, I'll share on my Twitter to, you know, let it out there like, hey, everybody, I added something new just in case you wanted to take a look. When you go to your profile, it will show up, bingo, right here. I'm going to show you because these things are technically not ready for me to put up there. I'm actually going to unpublish this. You could also edit the album. It goes right back into where we just were. Okay. Or I can promote it, which is what we just saw with the social media. I can clone it if I want to make another one. I can delete it, or I can unpublish it, which it will stay right here in drafts, but no one is going to see. You can see I've obviously done this a couple of times. No one else will see this. I am the only one that will see this right now until I'm ready for it. So you can do that and then save it and then kind of go back to work on it yourself. So that I don't forget, we'll go down to Photoshop real quick here. And this is, oh goodness, okay. This is my watermark that I have created. Now let me see, where is my, looking for my layers palette. I must be skipping right over it. Oh, nope, here it is. It was just on my other screen. That's why. So I have, and actually, so are my tools. There we go. There we go. So I actually, this is a smart object. It's a vector object that I've brought into Photoshop and then saved it as a PSD. So I have my transparent background. And essentially what I do, I'll just open up some random image. Let's see. Oops. Oh, that's why. So you guys are getting to see all the things that or how I organize everything. All right, we'll put this guy up. Or, you know, it could not open up. Oh, for God's sakes. There we go. All right. Oh, and I actually already have it in here. So we're going to pretend that this guy's not there. So I just essentially, I select all and then go back to the work that I want to watermark and paste it right in. Now you can see that this is actually white and my image is actually purple. I'm going to transform it, which is Control T or Command T. I'm going to shrink it down proportionally because that was not working. Just so I can see it. I'm going to put it on an angle just a little bit so it kind of covers some stuff. But I want people to still be able to see my work. So this is a dark image, so I'm going to make it white. I'm going to go to my blending options here, or, you know, whatever. what is going on here? There we go. I wasn't clicking on the right thing. And I'm going to do a color overlay, and then it changes it. I'm also going to actually make it a slightly different, I'm going to change the opacity slightly, just so you can tell that it's not technically supposed to be there, because otherwise if it's really opaque, it might actually look like it's supposed to be part of the design, which it isn't. And you know, sometimes I will actually make it a different color. Maybe I want to actually make it red. You know, depending on what the image is. I want it to stand out enough that people can see it, but I don't want it to really detract for the actual image. So, and Beth, you asked, no, on the work you posted, it was in Photoshop, right? The invitations, is that what you're asking with the, no, actually, I did that completely in InDesign, and then, where's my Firefox? And then, actually, I'll go into it. This guy right here. So the layout itself, the stripes, the gradient in the background, and actually, well, I mean, essentially everything was done in InDesign. I imported the skull and the onesie and the rattles. I actually imported them in to InDesign. They were created in Illustrator. So it was a combination of different programs. You can do wonderful, wonderful things. So let me actually just try to make sure that I'm getting everything, because we are coming up on the end, which is like, holy crap. I want to also make sure that I go over, oh geez, and I keep, when you were adding the programs used, could you also put Photoshop because of the watermark? Yeah, you could. But the programs used is really more for the design itself, or the image itself. So I mean, it's absolutely appropriate. I mean, it's legit if you include that. But I think that the keywords and the description, the programs are really more referencing the work itself before it was watermarked. There we go. That's that. I couldn't quite figure out how to explain that. So once you've created your project, or if you want to do the project second, that's absolutely fine. The other information that you need to make sure you include is all of this information, this lovely information over here, where the about you, okay? So you're going to end up with, you know, a blank avatar. You hit your little plus sign here and go to edit avatar, or you can pick any particular image you want. You can use a photograph of yourself, your logo, as long as it's professional, that's absolutely fine. The rest of the information you'll find under edit your profile. And you can just scroll right down and go, you'll notice, here I just went to gesture with my hand. On the left hand side, you'll notice that the items get highlighted in blue as you pass them. So you can just, you know, fill everything out as you go. Or if you want to jump, you can do that as well. There is a section for your work experience. There's a section for a little description of, you know, your work. You can put other websites, such as, you know, social media sites, other portfolios. I always have that my website is under construction, simply because I'm always doing things to it. Here are some other accounts that they'll actually, let me see, I'll go back. They'll actually give you the little icons for those, and then if someone clicks them, it'll actually bring you to that account. Okay, so these are, you know, different ways of kind of doing things. What else we got here? We have web references, teams. If you are on a team in Behance, like I said, you can join groups and whatnot. And then in addition to all that, what you do, you know, once you're filling all the information, I believe it actually, because I'm not adding anything right now, I believe it actually saves automatically. You see a little thing up here that says, you know, profile saved. You go back to profile. You can actually also, up here, this is where your account settings are. Oops, come on. You go to settings, you can actually also, and this is probably one of my favorite things because it makes things so easy to remember, you can edit your URL. So if I were to go to my page over here where I am not signed in, this is what employers would see, this is what students would see, this is where clients would go. You can see it says behance.net/PSG14. It's Purple Spider Graphics and 14 is my number. So you can absolutely customize your URL to whatever you want to do. And you know, you can go through your settings just like you would any other social media, what you want, what you don't want. Those are, you know, those are not required for this particular assignment, but it's stuff that's in there. Beth asks, what if you don't have anything like that? What could we add? Don't have any of the information for the profile. And if that's the case, what specific information are you referring to? Like the on the web kind of stuff? Why is it that? There we go. Then you just leave it blank. That is completely up to you. I actually am looking into right now doing a Dribble account myself, so I can also put that up there. But you know, these didn't come overnight. You know, this has been you know, a work in progress. So I started out with just a Facebook page, and then I did my Twitter, then I did a LinkedIn, then I did it, and actually that's actually wrong. I think I actually had a LinkedIn page before I had Facebook. But you know, this was all blank at one point. You know, you want to try to put a little bit of information in where it says our business, that would be like the about me section, you know, a little bit about you, even if you're just discussing how you're an Independence University student and you're on your way to your degree in graphic design. So that's what you would do there. And I'm trying to think of what else I can go over. Do you guys have any questions while I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I need to include? Trying to remember. I went over that. No. I'll get rid of that one now. So, and no questions for you guys? Just want to make sure. We want to keep this just school stuff for now. Or things that you've done in the past. Why don't you, because I'm not sure, I know that you're going to be actually adding to these as you go. So you are absolutely welcome to upload items that you've done in the past. Maybe you want to create one that's your Independence University work. Maybe you want to you know, set up one that was, this was, you know, 2017, 2018 work, and then this is 2019 or something like that. But you can absolutely do that as long as your assignment for this week is up there. That's all I'm grading. that and that you have the various things filled out in your rubric, you know, the various items that are in there. So I even have someone that, this right here actually is one of my former students. He did this, and then he actually added me as a co-creator, I think, co-owner. There we go. So I actually didn't even do this. I am simply a co-owner on it because he actually added me in that. So I have that separate from the rest of my work. So, you know, kind of figure out what the best way is for you to lay your work out. And it looks like we don't have any questions. We are a couple minutes over. I'm just going to go over the assessment very quickly, which, like I said, we really don't even need to be doing too much on it because it is connected to last week's assignment. So, I mean, essentially, you're going to be doing the same thing as week 3, where you are going to be doing the revisions for your week 3 assignment and saving it, whether it was in Illustrator or in InDesign, save it as a PDF for submission, save it the correct way, and you're going to be uploading it. So your assessment is based on using your feedback that you got, your revisions. And I did want to make sure I actually mentioned whatever, even if you have a 100% perfect, beautiful ad, do not be offended if and when I'm giving you feedback that it's just part of the course. Do not be offended. I get critiques on my own work all the time. It's part of the job, and I don't want my students to get offended if they we're like, well, wait a minute, I thought this was really, really good, and you still gave me, criticism, and that's not at all what it's for. It's just, it's to help us all learn. Christina's asking, what about the critiques? We're kind of out of time today, but I am more than happy to do, because Christina, did I do yours yesterday by any chance? Because I didn't look at the names. No? Okay. If you would like me to critique yours, because I know Beth had asked yesterday as well, and I don't know if I did hers either, but I can absolutely critique those, and I can actually post them. I'll actually put since you guys both want me to do yours, I can actually do a little recording, and then I can send you both the link if you'd like. LaShawn too. Okay, let me write it down so I don't forget. I have LaShawn, Beth, Christina. Okay, I think that's good. I think I got them all, right? So what I'll do is I'll critique them, I'll record them. Oh no, I did yours back yesterday? Okay. Oh no, I did, and no, you did not do mine yesterday. Okay. That's all right. So what I'll do is I'll do the recording. I'll actually send the three of you the link for it, and we can go from there, okay? And any other questions for anything? As my kids are coming down the stairs. No? All right, well, you are all very welcome. It's been a pleasure having all of you in these live sessions, and if anyone watching the recording or any of you ladies in the session today have any questions this week, feel free to let me know. If you have any questions, in other classes and you're inclined to shoot me a message, feel free. I'm also available that way. So I am available on Thursday for my multi-session, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I'm really glad, Beth, that you had a great time in the last few weeks, and I've really enjoyed actually teaching it. Thank you so much, Davi. That means a lot to me. So, well, again, I hope you folks all have a great rest of the week, great rest of the mod, and have a good one tonight.